is what you guys do, and you guys have a. There you go. No. His family was from Jamaica, and they owned slaves. So if you want to go for someone, he was from Jamaica, but they were not black. There's black people everywhere. You guys are fucking idiots, dude. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm so mad because you guys, all you dumbass fucking liberals piss me off. No, you can keep doing that. That's all you guys can do. That's all you guys can do. You guys can't debate. You guys can't debate.
I honestly can't because you called me a liberal, so there's literally...
They can't debate because you guys don't. Go ahead, guys.
You don't have any debate. There is no debate. You stand your fucking ground.
I stand my ground as an American. How about that?
Hey, Josh.
I stand my ground as an American.
So bad. I honestly, Josh, I gotta say, I almost felt bad for a second for humiliating you in front of your girl, but the fact that she just came on just as aggressive as she did makes me honestly not even feel bad about it too much. Really, I don't. You guys both got wrecked together. So maybe next time you guys will read. Maybe next time we will read before you come on.
I don't care.
And you guys, and none of you guys care about America the way I do.
I don't care.
She don't care about America.
Next!
I have to pay the gas.
You gotta pay the gas. You gotta do all the bullshit.
Man, they're feisty, aren't they? They're feisty. I'll give it to them. They're feisty. They are feisty tonight. Crazy. Crazy how that works. We had a 2-for-1 special. That was great. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Hello? They left. Water number 5 is water number 4. Magateer bottle number 4, bro. I had to fill up on Magateers after that one, bro. I see we got some Who Dat fans in here. We love to shout out the Who Dat fans. Who Dat? Oh, we got something coming for them this year. Let's see who's next. Who do we want to debate next? I don't know. Who's next? Hello?
Well, how are you?
Great.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You were talking about Trump and what he did, and et cetera. And I'm an older guy, so I've been around longer than you have. But here, the first thing is that the tax legislation that he implemented in 2017, it reduced everyone's tax, corporate taxes, and everybody else's tax rates. On the corporate end, it was reduced from 39.6% to 28%. The reason for that was...
I think it was 21%, the reduction.
No, it went from 39.6... Well, 21, okay. If it was 20, I thought it was... Yeah, okay.
28. It went from 28 to 21.
No, it was 39.6 before that.
No. For the top corporate tax rate. What?
Okay, in any event, the issue is this. One of the things that he did was that he repatriated corporations that were from here, but they put their corporate headquarters in other countries. A lot of them went to Ireland. And the reason is that they put it in other countries, including Ireland, was that the tax rates for corporations in other countries is so much lower than it was in the United States. So the corporations would put their corporate offices in those other countries. Now then, when he lowered the tax rates They're still higher than they are in a lot of other countries, but they got down to being more competitive than what they were prior. And so as a result, from 2017 through 2019, there was $1 trillion in new revenue that came into the United States because of corporations moving back. Now, obviously, then COVID hit and everything went to hell for everybody. But the bottom line is, in 2017 through 19, $1 trillion of corporate revenue came back into the United States that was not here before that. Okay? And one of the things that does, taking it just a step beyond that, our 2023 deficit was $1.7 trillion, of which $448 billion was based on the border, or in other words, about 25% of our deficit. It was based on the border and all the things mixed into it, including you can look that up. It's 1.7 trillion deficit in 23, of which about 25% of it was dealing with the border.
How much did you say?
The deficit last year was 1.7 trillion, of which 448 billion it was dealing with border-related issues. So it's about 25%, give or take, in that range.
No, that's not true.
Well, that's true. I mean, I don't know how to tell you that's the truth.
It's not. And so there's a couple things that you said that are respectfully completely inaccurate. And you are respectful, so I'm going to address you respectfully. First of all, there's no president that has racked up higher increases to the national debt in a single 4-year term than Donald Trump. Donald Trump spent $4.8 trillion in non-COVID related spending. That's what he was charged with. That's still $2.2 trillion less than what it is under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So it's vastly different. I think that we should look at things in terms of non-COVID related spending. Now, both of them COVID related spending, but in terms of non-COVID related spending, Donald Trump has by far spent far more. Now, you want to talk about what's been spent for the border, but in 2023, I just looked it up. Department of Homeland Security spent about $25 billion specifically for border-related issues, about $17.5 billion to manage and secure borders, including funding for Border Patrol processing centers, technology, infrastructure improvements, and for ICE, $8.3 billion. So when you add that all together, $25 billion.
Right.
You said $480 billion. The actual number was $25 billion.
I agree with what you're saying, but that was just for those employees.
So then what you just said was a complete lie. I mean, it's not accurate.
No, that was for the employees of the border or the ICE or whatever.
No.
But it did not include what we spent on the immigrants that are here since they've been coming in.
The total value of what they spent on these programs, was $25 billion. You said the number was $480 billion. That's not accurate at all.
No, I said 448, but in any event,
448. The number was 25.
I'm sorry. No, those are the numbers for the Border Patrol and ICE, but they do not include what additional money has been provided to the immigrants themselves since they've been coming in. In other words, for things like housing, for things like food, for things like whatever else, clothing, that sort of thing. There's been a
part of that, right? DHS spent in 2023 $2.5 billion in total for the total care for housing for asylum seekers and migrants in their budget. $2.5 billion is what they spent. And by the way, I hope you understand that giving people who are applying for asylum access to food, because the United States of America will not give them work permits. They are not allowed to work because of how our law is written. It's the exact same thing that was done under Donald Trump. That's not new.
Okay, I understand that, but we've had
so the point is that your premise, first of all, was completely wrong. Your premise was that $400 and something billion was spent on this. That's not accurate. That's just completely not true. So the actual number was $25 billion for Border Patrol and for ICE. And then on top of that, you have another $2.5 billion that was spent specifically for asylum seekers. And I want you to understand that the reason why this has to be spent is because by law, they have to be able to apply for asylum in the United States. That was the law under Donald Trump, and that's the law under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And it is the United States, because Republicans have blocked this, they've tried to make it to where they could get work permits so they could work while they are here, but they cannot do so because they are barred from doing that. So if the law says that was still there under Donald Trump, that they have to apply for asylum in this country, and we as a nation will not allow them to work, what is it that you want to happen?
Well, that is all part of the reason why we shouldn't be letting them come in.
They're not letting them come in. That's just not true. It's the same asylum laws that existed when Donald Trump was president till now.
Except that he enforced the border.
Yes, they're enforcing the border laws now. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, all that you have is just, I mean, what border laws are they not enforcing?
Well, they're not. If they're not enforcing people to come in through the points of entry.
Yes, they are. That's just not true.
I'm not saying a lot of them aren't coming through that. But what I'm saying is a lot of them are not.
What border laws are they not enforcing? Can you tell me one border law that they're not enforcing? One law.
Well,
give me a law.
I'm not saying they're not trying to enforce, but
No, that's not what I asked you. I said, what border law are they not enforcing?
people that are coming in and not checking in at a border point.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well,
That's not true.
The Border Patrol says that they've had about 1 million entries into the U.S. through non-border entry.
Dude, you're not actually addressing the point, because it seems like for people who have this concern, they refuse to believe that other factors cannot contribute to increases in migration. The laws are the exact same. It's not like something was changed. Let me tell you what happened. During the pandemic, migration was caused by poverty. People left poor countries to go to wealthier countries. Why? We're the greatest nation on earth. So people decided to leave a poor country and they went to a wealthier country. And that is the exact same thing that every other major economy on earth dealt with at the exact same time. Why there was major upticks in migration in the United Kingdom, even though they were governed by conservatives. Why there was an uptick in migration in France. Why there was an uptick in migration in Germany. Why there was an uptick in migration in Italy. Because Giorgia Meloni just won an election off of this. So they all increased migration at the exact same time when the pandemic happened. So was it Joe Biden and Kamala Harris not enforcing immigration policy that caused increases in migration in the UK? Was it them not enforcing laws that caused migration in France, in Germany, in Italy? Why did this all happen at the exact same?
But the point is, our country is the one I'm talking about and the one I have concerns about. I'm not talking about Germany or England or whatever.
Because this completely destroys your narrative. It completely destroys it. Because the reality is, if every other major wealthy country dealt with the exact same problem at the exact same time, that probably means that the reason is connected.
Well,
and they all happened at a time in which massive poverty happened as a result of the pandemic.
Here's the number: the cost of illegal immigration.
All you're doing is telling me effects, but you will not tell me the cause. You cannot tell me the cause.
The cause is they're coming in, and the cost. No. This is what this says. The cost.
Dude, I don't care. We're not talking about the number. I acknowledge that migration numbers are up, but the problem is that you are trying to put the blame of this on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris when that's not accurate. Because you cannot tell me a single thing, not one immigration law that they are not enforcing. You cannot do that. It completely destroys your narrative, coupled with the fact that this happened all around the world at the exact same time because of the pandemic. You cannot Answer it.
But the pandemic's been over for 3 years. And they're still coming in.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's why migration numbers right now are lower than what they were in September of 2021 2020 when Donald Trump left office. They are lower today than what they were when Donald Trump left office.
But they're still at 2 million for this year.
Wait, what? Dude, you're not answering anything. All you're doing is just going around and talking about the numbers are up, the numbers are up, the numbers are up, the numbers are up.
Yeah.
But in America, my friend, we don't take 10-word stupid little quips. We actually understand that things are very complex. It's hard. It's difficult. These problems are not just something you can just solve by stupid solutions. You have to be able to look at the way that these numbers work. And again, the case in point is this, and the point that you're just stuck on and you can't actually answer is what law are they not enforcing? You can't answer that.
The people that come through the points of entry are legally coming in. The people that do not come through the points of entry, or they're simply what they call gotaways, is the primary money problem here. Now, the other thing is that, as we've all heard, and this is true, that the people that come over here pay an average to the cartels of about $10,000 per person to get in here.
Friend.
On the other hand, a friend...
You still won't answer the question.
Well, here's where I'm going with this. On the other hand, a friend of mine is an immigration attorney. She's done this for years. That's what her career is. Her mother's originally from Guatemala. She's grown up here. Her mother's a citizen and all that. But 10 years ago, she said that if she were to have an individual come into the country...
Dude, you're not actually... Dude, again...
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about all of these things. Like, you're missing the point.
Okay.
The point that I said was, I am not disputing that numbers are higher.
Right.
I'm not disputing that. But you can't tell me one thing they're not enforcing.
They're not enforcing the border other than at the
what law are they not enforcing?
They're not enforcing letting people in.
That's just not true.
Well, I would, if you went down to Texas or Arizona.
I live in Texas.
Okay, well then you know. If you go to the border, you'll see every day, every night, thousands of people.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I went to the border. You see, unlike a lot of these people, I went to the border. I sat there and I walked around and I got a chance to see it for myself. It's not true. I don't know what you're talking about. But again, you still won't answer the question. You won't answer it because it completely destroys your entire narrative. It completely destroys it every single time. And it's like, you guys love to say, the numbers are higher, the numbers are higher, the numbers are higher, the numbers are higher. But why are the numbers higher? And when you make you guys peel back the onion and ask for a very specific pointing question, very specific question, what are they not enforcing?
They're not enforcing the border.
And
because they don't have the manpower to do it.
That's vague nonsense, because you can't say.
I know you don't believe it, and I understand that, but...
Because you can't tell me anything.
Because
you can't tell me one thing that they're not enforcing.
The Border Patrol can't even tell you how many people have gone through as a guy. They can't tell you that.
I'm sorry, my friend. I'm just being honest with you.
Okay.
You can't really do that. And I think that here's the situation. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden proposed a border bill that had new technology to stop fentanyl, billions of dollars for the wall that Trump never actually built. Finally being able to go through and hire more Border Patrol agents, finally being able to change our asylum laws that said, look, we're going to go and hire all of these new immigration judges, all these new immigration courts, and we're going to process through claims quickly so that if you're supposed to be in this country, you can get through without having to wait on a 10-year list. But if you're not, we find you're not supposed to be in this country, we can deport you. That's the way that they wanted. That's the way that they wrote this law. But they didn't just write this themselves. They wrote it with literally the second most conservative senator in the Senate.
Right.
A man that was endorsed by Donald Trump, spoke at Trump rallies, went on Newsmax, and did all of these things. He wrote the bill. He wrote the bill.
He was the one Republican. Yeah.
It wasn't just one Republican. Mitch McConnell supported the bill, and a bunch of Republicans supported the bill. But the problem was, and that Mitch McConnell even said that it had enough votes to actually pass through the Senate. But the problem was that Donald Trump said that Democrats and Republicans working together in the middle of an election year will hurt his poll numbers. And he dared to primary out any single Republican that came out and voted for it. So if you can't tell me a single reason, right, that they're not enforcing things, and there was a bill that the Republicans literally wrote with the Border Patrol Union, right, to say, hey, look, this is not a result of policy that this is happening, that we are not enforcing. This is simply the fact that we need to pass a better law because they have to pass a law through Congress to make this happen. And they don't do it because it's Trump, because of what he says.
Well, a part of what that bill was to do was to allow more people to process people through.
That's not true.
Well, it is true.
What?
A part of that legislation was to get people processed through quicker.
Yes.
And so, in other words, it would take more people to do that.
Yes,
rather
and they
than
were going to hire more people
on the other side of the border until they were actually able to be processed.
Wait. But you do understand that that's not actually legal. The reason why that was able to happen when Donald Trump was president was because of something called Title 42. Title 42 was that if there was an existence of a public health emergency, right? If there was a pandemic, then it could be invoked to temporarily change
I understand that.
immigration law. And the problem is that because the Republicans demanded that the federal health emergency go away because they said the pandemic was over, it didn't need to happen, we were wasting too much money. So Joe Biden ended it. But the second he got rid of it, it was taken through in the courts and blocked because it couldn't enforce it anymore because there was no more public health emergency. So don't cite Title 42 because the courts got rid of it.
I understand that. I believe me, I understand that. I do understand that. And, you know, I think at this point, between
so
you
what
and
is it? So again, what is it that you want? If they tried to pass a bill to fix these problems, to make things a lot easier, what is it that you want?
they could shut the border down.
They can't do that without a law. And matter of fact, this law allowed them to do that. They cannot do that under existing law. They can't.
Okay. Well, if you're in Texas, you know about that pretty well, probably. I would still, I'll have to do research on that, honestly. And I'm not questioning you. I'll do some more research on that, though, because I think it's somewhere in between what you're saying and what I'm saying is accurate. I don't think you're necessarily totally right, and I may not be totally right. I think somewhere in between is realistic.
I understand that. But the reality is of the situation is that it is a large lie that Donald Trump has been pushing that effectively says that this is all happening because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And that's why Donald Trump has never been able to say what it is that they did that made this happen. He can't do that because it's a complete lie. This is happening because all around the world, people left poor countries.
I understand that. I do understand that. That's fine. I do understand that.
I just don't really understand. Why? How can one possibly blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris when they tried to pass a law? Because a law is what they have to do. They have to change the law, and it has to pass through Congress, and it has to be bipartisan.
But that was just in the last 2 months.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
For 3.5 years, there was nothing done.
Because you understand that we were fighting a once-in-a-generation pandemic. That's what the focus was, right? Like that's what we're. And the point is that they tried to get this done. They tried to get this done. They tried to focus and be able to pass this, but they never did because Republicans kept on messing with it.
Again, I'll leave that because I think I'm part right and you're part right. So I'm not going to disagree with you.
All right.
Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Now we do have an issue though with.
Yeah, we got to go to the next person.
Okay. Hey, have a good evening.
Thanks for coming. Hey, you know what? Look, we might have a difference in opinion, but I do respect you. I really do. I appreciate the way that you came on. You were open to talk. So
I can yell and scream.
You know I can do that too.
I know. You're the one with the mic, so.
All right,
Hey, have a good evening.
all right, I appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
He was kind. I respect him. I do. Let's see, who's next? And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, I don't really have it, and I've never, anybody that knows me, I don't really have beef with the Republicans. I really don't. MAGA is on site. Like, I don't fuck with them. Like, I'm very direct about that. They don't really give a damn about this country, so I don't really give a fuck. But when it comes to Republicans, I don't really have beef with them. Like John McCain, Mitt Romney, I disagree with them, obviously. Like, I think that they're completely wrong, but I at least understand, look, they care about this country, and we just have different opinions, we have different views. And, like, if you look at debates from 2012, from 2008, at least they just have a difference in opinion. And that's respectable. It really is. Like, I will always have very civil conversation with Republicans. But when it comes to MAGA, there is a sheer disregard to facts. There is a sheer disregard to logic, a sheer disregard to reason that is just not respectable. It's not even deserving of respect. And I think that we in this country do a disservice by treating this like this is a legitimate political movement when it's not. It's just not. And I think that we need to be very direct about the threat that they are and absolutely do everything we need to do to beat them, period. Because it's not principle based on anything. Let's see. We're going to try to get one more in here. Try to get one more. Let's see. That didn't work. Hello?
Oh my, I can't believe you pulled me up.
What's up?
Man, bro, it's so much hypocrisy. Listen, bro, I come in peace. I've already resigned in the fact that Harris is definitely going to win this election. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. But it's just a delusion that's on both sides that really trips me out. It just shows the brainwashing, particularly on the Democratic side and on the Republican side as well, but more so on the Democrat side, that the people that's on top is pulling all the strings. They the puppet master, and they got us down here just bickering back and forth, and nobody's paying attention to the people that actually run this country. They put off all the talking points and you spew them all out, and this side spews out the other talking points, and just keep everybody bickering back and forth. Nobody's understanding exactly what's actually going on, and that's insane to me. Completely insane. I was listening to you earlier, and you was talking about Trump. I actually believe the last election that Trump was the last chance to actually save this country. There's nobody else that could do it, that had the money to do it, that really had the fight that could do it, because a regular citizen actually couldn't do that. But they have, they did a number on him. I mean, it almost kind of reminded me like back in the day what they did to the Black Panthers and Angela Davis. I mean, it's completely crazy. But to actually sit there and watch it. I don't know how old you are. I'm 46 years old. To actually sit there and watch what's going on and not be able to tell what's happening is just insane to me. This country has just destroyed other countries through disinformation. And I hear you all the time talk facts, and, you know, when one side controls the narrative, you also control the facts. So at this day and age, you can't really depend on the information that we're actually getting from up top. And we've seen it quite a few different times. Like I said, I honestly believe that Donald Trump was our last chance, but now that was the last election. This election, yeah, these billionaires, they don't put so much money up, and it's definitely going to happen that Kamala Harris is going to win this election. And when she does, now we have to be prepared for what's coming next and what's on the agenda. We keep talking about Project 2025 and that BS, Democratic propaganda BS, but nobody's talking about Project 2030. And it's been around, I thought, for the last 10 years or whatever, but did a little bit of research and it actually changed its name. It used to be Agenda 21, and nobody's talking about it. Joe Biden, his policies align with it, with the infrastructure bill, with the new Green Deal. And he actually went to the World Economic Forum and told them that we are on pace with
such a conspiracy.
Agenda 2030.
You know what? You know, the funniest part about this whole thing is just like watching like the MAGA folks cheer and then the Democrats cheer. Like, it's just been funny to watch them like trying to figure out where your triangulation is. It's like all over the place. It's been pretty hilarious. I mean, because look, you go on this rambling thing, but you can't point to a single. What is it that you disagree with? What policy? You want to talk about policy? Let's talk about policy.
It's not so much to even talk about policy; it's just the direction of the country.
Why not? Why do you not want to talk about policy?
Well, I see the way that you operate. I'm not going to talk over you. It's really, I'm not going to have that type of energy. It's, like I said, it's pointless. I already resigned in the fact.
Did you think the last guy was very hostile energy?
Well, I mean, whenever you start cutting people off and doing all that other stuff, I mean,
no, because I want to understand what is the policy that you disagree with? Why do you not want to get into
a lot of things that you said that I disagree with. You said that Trump was incoherent and all this other stuff, and he couldn't do this. And man, I watched the last election. I mean, we never saw Joe Biden do any campaigning, and then all of a sudden, you know, he wins an election, and
he did. And as a matter of fact, he didn't just win. He humiliated Donald Trump.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. At some point, you have to. How old are you, bro?
And then not only did 81 million people vote, I just want to make sure that you understand the facts. We danced in the street, we laughed at him, and then we were outside the White House, literally chest bumping and everything else when he got fired. Okay, that's what happened. So I want to make sure that you understand.
Yeah.
Joe Biden didn't campaign. We didn't knock on a single door. And he still beat the living shit out of Donald Trump in that election.
And you believe that? He got the most votes for being the president.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
what does that say? Listen. I think that this is the point.
Did I say something?
I think this is the point that you guys don't really connect. How many people absolutely hated Donald Trump that they would go in record numbers to that degree just to make sure he couldn't get his hands on another term? I don't think that you understand that.
Listen, this is what I mean.
I don't think that you understand.
You seem to be a very intelligent guy. I understand. I'm quite sure you're probably educated. You went to college, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I barely got out of high school. I'm a crane operator, truck driver, you know. So let's just talk common sense. They say that he got the most votes out of any president. So when I applied common sense to that, he got more votes than Obama. He got more votes than Trump. Both of them had a cult-like following. The Beatles have a cult-like following. Michael Jackson had a cult-like following. Like, who's following Joe Biden? But you bought the fact that he won. I don't think
that you understand me. The point is that people hated Donald Trump. That many people hated him.
You believe that many people hated Donald Trump that they showed up in Maricopa County and did a 92-mile parade?
That's the amount of people that voted. That's the people who voted. This is, and the crazy part is, Donald Trump 55 times went to court to try to say otherwise, and he lost every single time.
As he
Clarence
should have.
Thomas told him he was an idiot.
As he should
Clarence
have.
Thomas. Is Clarence Thomas a liberal shill? Why did he go and say that Donald Trump had no business being in court? 55 times.
So, like I said, man, I mean, I don't
wait a second. Wait, you don't want to talk. Why? Clarence Thomas, the most right-wing Supreme Court justice ever in this country, has hated Joe Biden, viscerally hated him ever since Anita Hill. So that man even came to agree with Joe Biden that Donald Trump's claims had no business, nothing whatsoever.